you for checking out our channel today. I'm Lauren and I'm here with Haley, and we are taking you through a really nice, stretchy, slow-paced prenatal class. Haley is in her 3rd trimester, and so we want to make sure all of our exercises are very safe and effective for 3rd trimester, things that are changing in your body. And in order to do that, today we're going to use 2 props. You have either a pole, if you have something like this at home. If you don't, you can use a broom, any kind of Swiffer, that sort of thing will work just fine. And we're not going to use it for a very long time. And then also an exercise ball, a stability ball. So those are the 2 things that we will start with. I'm going to set the pole down as we get going, and we'll start with your body just lined right up next to your ball. So we're going to bring the ball towards your shins. Feet can be, usually we always talk about being in line with your sits bones, but because we're trying to make a little more space, as body's growing, baby's growing, feet can go a little wider. And we'll just start maybe even softening those knees, try and keep that ball in place. And let's take a couple breaths here, moving your hands onto the sides of your ribs. We'll take a big inhale and just feel the rib cage expand laterally. And as you exhale, knitting your ribs in together. And again, taking a nice big inhale, feeling that lateral expansion. And a nice exhale, knitting your ribs, almost like you're trying to pull your baby, giving it like a hug sensation. We'll take that again. Inhale. And exhaling out. And one more big inhale. Exhaling down. Go ahead and let your hands reach down towards your stability ball, and we'll start to walk it out. You can either articulate round through your spine. I'm going to have Haley hinge just because we're also being mindful of some disc areas in her back. So she's going to hinge forward and let the ball come all the way out in front of you. You can bend through your knees here and try and come into a nice flat back. Head right between, or right in line with the spine. And we'll take an inhale here. As you exhale, gently extend through your knees and bring that ball up towards you. And again, we'll inhale to bend the knees, just rolling that ball away. And exhale, just extend through your knees. And again, bend and stretching the shoulders, getting the front nice and loosened up. Exhale, pull in towards the center. And on this next one, inhale, send the ball away, bend your knees. Now without moving the lower body, let's get the upper back into a little extension. So we'll switch the breath. Inhale, draw the ball towards you, a little less in the neck, a little more in that mid back there. And exhale, lengthen away. And inhale, pull in towards you. Think like your sternum's trying to pull forward through your arms. And exhale, flatten back out. Very nice. And inhale, chest forward. You feel a little engagement through your lats. And lengthen back out. And inhale, one more. And exhaling out. Hold it here. Try and come into that nice flat back. Press away from my hand a little more. Yes. And extend through one knee. Give yourself a little stretch to the side of your hip. Maintaining that flat back. Gaze down a little. Flatten your back, pull off my hand more. Good. And then switch your sides out. Take that other leg nice and straight. Flatten through that back. And again, switch your sides and to the other. Bring your chest up a little. Good. And switch sides and to the other. Get a nice stretch through the back of your legs. Bringing that chin down a hair. Coming back, center bending your knees. Reach your hands towards that ball. You roll up. You're going to take the ball between your hands. Work your way back up. We're going to have Haley hinge up just so she's working that back nice and safely for her. Bring your legs all the way hip width apart now. Nice and narrow. And let's reach the ball up overhead. So just this position is going to be a little stretch for the pecs, which we love, and I want you to keep squeezing in on the ball. So we're even working a little bit through the anterior part of the shoulder, the front side of the shoulder. Make sure your feet are nice and parallel, like they're on little railroad tracks. And we'll start from here, drawing in the ribs. Take a nice bend through the knees. Inhale, exhale, press back up. And again, inhale, and press. Think of this like a wall sit. You're sliding down and back. Try not to bring the hips behind you. Good, and pressing up. And inhale and exhale. So nice lifting through the front of the abs. Tailbone drawing down. Inhale and exhale. Try and push into my ribs a little, or your ribs into my hand a little more. Good. And inhale, exhale. And two more. Inhale, exhale. Last one. Breathe in and out. Same thing, finding a balance. Rise up onto your toes. Before we even move, make sure you're not rolling to your pinky toes. Think those inner ankle bones towards each other, finding a nice balance there. And then the same thing, we'll bend the knees, extend. And you're just thinking like there's little fists under your heels that aren't gonna move. And press out. I'm gonna let go, keep those heels. And press, and inhale. Exhale, knees nice and narrow, and press, keeping squeezing on that ball as you go down. Big balance challenge here, especially as your weight's pulling you forward. It's wanting to pull your back into a big arch. You have to work really hard to pull, yes, your core in. That looks really nice. And coming to the top, bring your heels together. Toes will stay in a V position. And try and stretch those inner thighs, squeeze, and we'll take that again. Inhale down, exhale, squeeze. Inhale and exhale. Trying to stretch through those arms. This is the last one with it overhead. It should start to feel like a good burn in your arms. And press. Good. Inhale, exhale, lifting that upper back. Inhale and exhale, and squeeze through the knees. Good. And in and squeeze. Two more. Breathe in and out. Control that way down. Control your way up. Bring your legs back to parallel. Lower your heels. Reach the ball in front of you. Straight out at shoulder height now. Arms lift a little higher, right in line with the shoulders. And it's so natural to want to lean back here. So try and go a little forward with the chest towards the ball. Good. Straighten the arms all the way straight. And we'll take some calf raises here. Heels rise up, heels lower down, and heels rise up and lower down. I want you to bring your shoulders forward more. Good. And keep that with straight arms now. Yes, you're really using your core a lot to help support your spine here. And up, control the lower. Good. And lift. Control down and lift. And control. You can even add a little squeeze on the ball. Squeeze down, drive chest forward. Good. And squeeze down and up. And up. One more, find the calf raise. Now bend one knee, drop the other heel down. Lift both heels up and switch. So it's like a little rise and a prance. Hand heels rise and a prance. And squeeze on that ball as you go into that prance, and squeeze, and up, and squeeze, and up, and squeeze, and up, and squeeze. One more each side. Lift, and prance, and lift. Pull the ribs in a little. Good. Both up. Lower your heels down, and let's move the ball behind you. You're going to grab it between your hands. It's just going to help open up through your chest that was just working a lot on those last ones. And from here, the ball's not going to move, but I want you to energetically really think of squeezing in on the ball. We'll take your feet underneath your sit bones because one leg's going to come up into a balance. And we'll find your supporting side, even just that position. Take your time so you can find it. We'll take a small bend with the supporting leg. Bend the supporting knee and lift it up. Good. And bend. I'm just challenging Haley's hip flexor work. We're lifting her thigh even higher. She's there if she needs it. The balance. And up. Inhale. Exhale. Two more. In and out. Good. Last one. In and out. Set your foot down. Switch sides. And again, bend the knee in and out. And you can really feel that ball behind you, something to kind of draw your baby back toward, helping to connect in with the deep muscles in your core. You have some feedback from that ball. And inhale and exhale, good, and in, and out, and 2, and out, last 1, and out. Gently set your leg down, and take a couple steps forward so you're towards the center of your mat. Let that ball roll down behind you, and we'll have a seat on the ball. Good. So from here, depending on your height, you want to take a look and see if your thighs are parallel to the floor. What we'll want to do is rise up onto your toes in order to make your knees higher than your hips. And just that angle where the knees are lifted is going to help stretch out through your pelvic floor, which becomes more important as we go into that 3rd trimester. We know things have to stretch soon. So keeping it on the toes the whole time just to keep those knees nice and high. And let's go ahead and start here with the pole. This is where we're going to use that pole series. There's 4 exercises. They feel amazing. You want to start with your hands a little wider than your shoulders. We're balancing up, trying to find our postural muscles. And this is going to open up the shoulders we just worked by holding the ball. So we'll start with the arms lifting straight up overhead. As you bend your arms, you'll tap that pole towards the back of your head, towards the back of your high pony. Press it up and lower back down. Again, we'll lift your pole up. Inhale, bend, elbows a little forward of the pole. Good. Press and lower down. What you want to watch for here is that you don't arch in your back. You're trying to keep your ribs pulling behind you and up and down. You also want to watch you're not rising and shrugging with the shoulder blades. And bend and press. I love Haley's 90-degree bend in her elbows. Her angles look really good. Inhale and bend and press and down. And one more like this, lifting and bending and pressing and lower down. Take your hands a little wider now, outside of those shoulders even further. And now we'll go up overhead. This time we'll go all the way over. Not a safe exercise if you have any dislocations in your shoulders in your history, so you can always stay on that last one. It's a big stretch, so really important, especially as we start to, again, everything's getting heavier in the front, drawing us forward, trying to open up and stretch through your pecs. One of the best things you can do to keep striving for balance. Inhale, lift. Exhale, rolling over. Inhale, lift. And exhale down. Really nice. And again, same ideas. We're watching that we're not flaring the ribs forward. We're trying not to rise those shoulders up towards your ears. Let's do 2 more of these. Inhale. Pull that core in. And out. Last one, lifting the pole up and over. And this one on the way up, catch it at the top. Bend your arms and let that pole rest onto your shoulders behind you. We'll straighten out your arms, and you can let your hands come on top of the pole if yours is long enough, or just reaching palms down towards the floor if it's not. And we'll take a side stretch here. So we'll tilt to one side, really focusing on opening up through the obliques more so than trying to crunch the other side. So it's all about the stretching. And lift back up through center. And to the other side, we side bend, stretching out. And lift back up. And I love that Haley's really getting that from her waist. There's no movement in her head. She's trying not to rotate. Bring that bottom hand forward a smidge. There we go. And lifting up. And to the other side, inhale. Bottom arm forward a little, good. The more we do a lot of our traditional like core work, oblique work, all of those can really exaggerate that separation through the center line of your body. And so what we want to do, instead of encouraging those to contract and shorten where they pull on that, we want to encourage more stretching. So as your baby grows, you have more room to stretch and you're not as tight, so it's not going to pull apart. Let's add a rotation now. So we'll twist. And just, again, same idea, focusing on the stretch, not wringing out your core like a wet rag. Very different focus here. Inhale, we're just stretching the obliques. We're also keeping this in a nice functional range. so that, you know, when you go to do something in the kitchen or other things in your daily life where you do have to be in a rotate position, we're encouraging that length. And center, and rotate, and just feeling that nice opposite rib to hip lengthen. And even out your sides, one more set, or if you're halfway through, just even out. And center, and last one, rotating. Good, and back center. And let's add a stretch. So go into that rotation, and then kind of hinge, reaching towards that backhand. So we're gonna really stretch out that QL2 through the back, that oblique. We're on the diagonal to the back corner if you were sitting in a box. And lifting up, and rotate. And to the other side, get that nice stretch, that nice twist. Or your QL, that part of your back that gets really tight. And lifting up, return center, take the bar back in between your hands, press up towards the ceiling, and lower that bar down. You can just set it off to the side. I'm gonna take it here behind us. And then from here, hands to your hips. Let's take a pelvic clock. So we're gonna get the lower part of your spine, your pelvic floor moving around a little. So you can see you're just like drawing a circle around with that ball. It should move underneath you, and then back to center. We'll do a couple the same direction. Really thinking about that center, trying to help move the ball so it is controlled. And you're also feeling that pelvic floor, all different points kind of stretching out. Once you've done a few one direction, let's go ahead and switch directions. Pull that ball around. And just kind of notice what parts of your muscles you have to engage to take your ball to one side versus the other. Haley and I were talking before, and she's like, this is my favorite thing to do when I'm watching a show. Sit on my ball, do my pelvic locks. Feels good. And then after you've evened out your sides, we'll come back to the center. And we're going to slowly start to walk your feet forward so you can lay down your upper back onto the ball. Here we go. You want to make sure that your chest, the opposite is the shoulder blades are anchored right into the ball. And let's take your hands interlaced behind your head, support your head, and go ahead and open up into a nice stretch for that upper back stretch for your chest. And you want, just like Haley has here, let your pelvis hang down nice and heavy. So your back is supported, your pelvis again lower than your knees. Now you can take this like a pelvic curl that we do in the mat, or today we're going to keep hinging again. So you'll inhale, exhale, lift your hips up. You want to get to that straight line, knees to pelvis. Inhale here, exhale, crease at the hips, lower back down. Breathe in. And exhale, lifting up, feeling your hamstrings working to lift your hips. Your glutes are working gently. Inhale. And exhale, lower down. Good. And again, we're working on the hinge, but you could do a curl, thinking one vertebrae rolling up at a time. Perfectly acceptable too. And back down. And again, exhale, lifting up. And exhale, lifting, hinging back up. Get that nice straight line across your body. Inhale. And exhale, lower. One more to come up. Feel your hamstrings, feel your glutes. Get that nice, beautiful line. Love it, Haley. Reach the arms overhead. We're going to go into a modified 100 here. Bring your arms a little closer together. Take a big inhale. Exhale, arms press down by your hips. Keep that trunk neutral. Inhale, prepare. And exhale, pump the arms. 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. And inhale, keeping those legs lifting. Use those hamstrings. Exhale. And inhale. And you're trying to minimize all that bouncing on the ball. She's doing really nice here. It's small, but it's controlled. And keep that breath. And breathe out. And exhale. Inhale, straight. Moving from the shoulders, energy out the fingertips, out the elbows. Keep pulling that baby in, give it a nice hug. And we'll take just one more finishing that breath that you're on. Should end on an inhale. And then we'll take the arms up on your exhale. Stretch over the ball. Give yourself that moment. Just feel that length. Let your hips come back down. Crease. Let your pelvic floor stretch out here. Take just a couple breaths. Inhale. And exhale. And one more breath in. And out. And she has her hands back behind your head. Support your head as you start to roll back up. You can start to push out with your legs. Start to lift your chest up. Walk your feet back in. Just being careful that you keep pressure on the ball so it doesn't slide out from under you. And then we're coming to kneeling sideways on our mat. And you want this inside leg nice and close to the ball. If you're taller like Haley, it's going to make that more extreme of a side bend. If you're a little shorter, it might be a little shallower. But we'll go ahead and drape your body over the ball. And find a nice position here where you feel you can support. We can take the bottom hand behind your head, and that top hand can just press in front of you, and we'll get this nice straight line through your body. We're going to use your top glute to work, floating your leg up off of the floor. And let's go with a nice straight knee. Feel your quads engage, and relax your foot just like Haley has here. Nice straight through that knee. Good. And from here, we're just going to lift the leg up. Inhale back down, exhale, lift. And I really do want your foot dangling, almost like it's a floppy fish at the end of your leg, because it's going to help work your outer glutes. They have two functions. One is to abduct or lift your leg. Two is to internally rotate. So by having that heavy foot at the end of your leg, it's going to help get that second function. Keep straightening that knee. Good. And lift. Exhale, lift. And lift. And lift. And exhale. And exhale 2 more times. Exhaling up. And up. On that second one, we stay. And we'll take a small range. Bring your leg forward slightly. Lift it up. Lower it down. And return. We'll take your leg forward. Lift. Lower. Return. And again, go forward. Lift. Lower. Keep stretching that knee. And feel the kneecap pulling up towards your hip. Even here. Straighten, straighten, straighten. There it is. And lift. And down. That's it. Love it. And 2 more. Lift. Down and back. Last one to the front. Hold it. Little drops your toes down like you're tipping your toes in water. Little drop. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. Let's take that knee. Bend your knee. And reach that top hand towards your back foot if you need to find that balance. And just give yourself a nice stretch through the front of your hip flexors, your quad on this side. And then we'll gently straighten that leg out long. Anchor your top foot now. I want you to feel that that's your weight-bearing foot so you can lighten the pressure underneath your bottom leg. You're slowly going to slide that bottom leg out and take your arms overhead. And you just get a nice side stretch for your whole body, your obliques, the lats, the IT band. One more big breath in here. Gently swaying on the ball. Just bend that bottom knee in. And we'll go ahead and gently lift yourself back up. And let's switch the ball to the other side. We'll do that oblique stability work, but your outer glute work on the second side. So keep your thigh good, nice and close to the ball. Drape your body over. Just let your head be supported by that bottom hand. Bring that elbow back a little if you can. There we go. And then this top hand either behind your head or you can use it to press on the ball. That's going to be more stable. The behind the head's going to be more challenging. And on this side, we're going to work that outer glute too. Try and stack your hip bones. Pull your baby up and in. And let's straighten this top leg all the way out. Good. Exhale, we'll lift from the glute. Inhale, down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, and up. and down. Exhale, lift up and down. I'm going to draw Haley's leg a little back because that's where, yeah, I want this a nice straight line in the front and up and down. So we're not going to work the hip flexors. We're going to try and use those glutes. Good. And down. Exhale. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. Inhale down. Use that slow timing. I want to feel the whole contraction, the whole lengthening up and down. Good. And up. Adjust if you need to while you're balancing here. Let's take this next one up. We'll take a small range forward, lift, lower, return. Try and pull off my hand. Good. And forward and lift and lower, return. Gotta keep firing this outer glute. The balance is the hard. The balance is what's going to be tricky. We want to work this outside. So even if it's small, could be just a couple of inches forward. Good. And front, lift, lower, relax that foot, stretch the knee. We got one more to the front. And take the leg for little drops like you're dipping your toes in the pool. We go drop. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and drop. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, again. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Bring that leg in. Bend your knee. And we'll reach back for that quad stretch with your top arm. Gently slide your leg as far back behind as is comfortable. Feel the quad, the front of your hip flexors stretch out, open up. One more nice breath in. And let that go out. You can straighten that leg. Plant nice and firm with that top foot. So you can slide your bottom leg out gently, nice and carefully. Move your arms up over the ball. Balance work is challenging, so move at your own pace. You can always kickstand, keep that bottom leg down if you don't feel stable. Just open up that side. We'll take another breath here. And gently bend the bottom leg back in. Lift your trunk up. And we're going to take the ball now in front of you. So you'll have a seat on your heels. Open your knees a little wider than your hips again. And bring that ball in front. Good. And we're just going to rotate the ball to a slight diagonal. And then reaching forward for a nice stretch again for your back, for your shoulders. It's a great pelvic floor stretch here. Just take a couple breaths. And then gently bring that ball back up, lift your chest, rotate to the other side, and take that nice hinge forward. Feeling the length in your back, the length in your sides. And come back, center. Lift up onto your shins now. We'll go ahead and we'll rotate sides so you can see. You can keep facing forward. Again, the knees can come a little wider than the hips just to make some room for your baby. We'll take the arms in front of you on the ball, and very similar to what we did standing, we're going to gently round, articulating down, or hinge. Haley's going to hinge forward, and just let the hips, they can come slightly behind the knees again because we want to keep encouraging that pelvic floor to open up. And you'll press down on the ball. You just extend through your upper back, so bring your chest forward. Think like your sternum. You're trying to pull that ball towards you and get that upper back to engage. And then exhale, lengthen back down. Again, we'll hinge, lifting that chest up, looking up towards the top of the ball with straight arms. Good. And exhale, let it glide away. And inhale again, pressing down on the ball for more stability. Good, and lengthening. I'm going to do a few more of these. It's so important we get this upper back engaging. Again, it's going to be difficult too. After baby comes, you're going to want to be holding a lot, which is going to pull us forward. So while we're here, strengthen this upper back. And I'll do one more up. Lengthen down. And we're going to gently roll back up or hinge back up to kneeling. Let's take your toes, lift yourself up onto your shins, work your way back to standing. Good, good, good. And we'll start end one more time with the way we started. So walk that ball out. Give yourself a nice stretch through your back here. Just notice anything that's kind of loosened up or changed throughout the session. Try and flatten that spine a little. Pull away from my hand. Right here, pull away from, yes. And exhale, extend through your knees. And hinge or articulate back up to the very top. Let that ball come. You can let go of the ball all the way to standing. And let's just go ahead and take another breath here. I'm taking the hands to the ribs. Just take one more to kind of help settle everything that you did back in. All right, so we hope that this session felt really good, just nice stretching, you feel balanced and making it as comfortable as it can be as things change. So thank you for joining us. We hope you check out another one of our prenatal videos, and we'll see you next time.